They are communicating and doing something together. It's a type of conference. They seem to be picking up something that is being sent to them. At the end of the table, a very intense light being has just appeared. Now they are all looking at this being rather than at the ball of light in the center. There are still no words, but strong communication is taking place. Their thought patterns are so strong that they don't have to use words. There is nothing hidden, which is not so on the emotional earth level. There are no hidden thoughts, and there is no dishonesty. There is only a pure state of existence, and thus attunement. There is attunement with every aspect of themselves and each other. This attunement is experienced because the energy is heightened to the extent that all emotions are cleansed of any hidden debris. Reality in the emotional level is confused with the illusion of the physical. Reality in the pure mental state is not confused with the illusion of the physical because there is no physical, but a pure energy state of consciousness. Time and space are a creation of the emotional earth level, but in essence, time and space do not actually exist. They exist in the eye of the beholder, which does not make them real. Time and space are the energies manifested to project the inner picture upon the earth screen. Therefore, time and space exist only as these concepts are experienced by the soul that is projecting the experience. The being that has appeared to the group is a teacher, a light being who comes to them on request from another vibratory level of existence. When they seek knowledge or guidance, it comes instantaneously in whatever form they desire. This would also be the case on planet Earth if humans would believe and accept this possibility. I am experiencing something very different in this group than in group experiences in the earth emotional level. There is complete unity, thus no sense of power of one being over another. The ego power structure is a part of the imbalance in the earth consciousness. This is a very important factor to understand. When a being is not balanced or integrated within itself, it projects a strong ego or power consciousness. Thus, an emotional wall is built around the self. The ego self does not recognize the oneness of its existence with all other levels of consciousness, nor does it show appreciation or recognition of other important energy levels, including other forms of life. Therefore, the earth level is in a state of an imbalance because of the imbalance of the overall emotional makeup of the ego levels of beings on the earth. The physical earth consciousness seeks its own balance. Thus, natural disasters occur, which is the earth consciousness shaking out the imbalance of its internal structures. This imbalance is created by the inner energies of the beings inhabiting it who make up the physical earth consciousness. A power structure is not a part of the pure mental levels of consciousness. There is a powerful love energy in this level since they have been balanced and integrated into the overall consciousness of existence. On the earth level, love is confused with emotions. Love is a pure and powerful energy expressed through the emotions, but it is not the emotions. There is a continual give and take in this type of atmosphere for all other levels, thus experiencing their oneness. This need and recognition eliminates the power struggle. The highest energy, which is pure love, creates overall oneness and balance. When you are in the presence of a being with pure love energy, the soul recognizes its own highest worth. When one is in the presence of a strong ego power, one experiences worthlessness, uselessness, and littleness, and thus falls under the control of the ego power. This is often experienced in the emotional earth level because of the many ego barriers that have been built up by souls trying to prove themselves to be of greater value than others. There is no greater and no lesser. Everything in the universe is to be experienced and treated with the most sacred respect, for all is one, and one is all. Souls must come into the recognition of their own levels of the highest God consciousness. Souls that come into this one-ment have the greater reverence and respect for all that they are and all that they are a part of. This is the highest energy called love. There is no need for an ego power to project itself onto the earth screen as the greatest. The purpose of the ego is to strengthen the self, to bring it back into its true internal balance, and not to take control of and retard other souls in their process of growth. The ego that is into other power rather than inner growth gets locked into playing the same unnecessary film over and over until it realizes that it no longer needs to project such a fake image onto its screen of life. There is no greatest, and there is no least. All life can be experienced as pure love energy, and pure joy. Within the pure love energy levels, there is no such concept as war, because wars, struggle, and defense mechanisms exist only in areas of emotional imbalance and conflict. When all is in balance, there is no need for destruction in ways that destruction is experienced on the earth level. When the emotional earth energies come into balance, conflict levels will disappear, and the earth consciousness will shift into a state of greater harmony. When the earth rises to a higher rate of consciousness, its physical nature will no longer be manifest, because souls will no longer need their lower nature for the projection of their slower vibrations, their more base energy levels. When all in the earth level come into the higher spiritual energies, their whole consciousness level will be transformed, and they will exist in pure energy form, as will the earth itself, because the earth is merely a projection of the inner levels of consciousness. The point has been made as to the differences between the emotional and the mental universes. These levels exist within each being and are there to be tapped. At any point, all can be in touch with the highest energy levels, or beings of highest love. It is important to believe that one can break down the walls of strong ego structures that confine the soul in its own prison of singular existence. Existence is not singular, but plural. There is no loneliness or aloneness other than that which the soul perceives. Souls that are locked into their inner chambers of energy cannot experience higher levels of consciousness, which are there to be tapped and released. But help comes at any time we ask. This is a universal law. Ask and you shall receive. Know that if all is one and one is all, you are never alone. Climb out of your emotional ego prisons and experience this at-one-ment with all levels of life. You carry the keys to your own prison cells. Call upon the God levels of your own natures, and you will know the greatest light, love, and joy, and will experience the magnificent creativity of your own true self. Be the actor on your true stage of existence, and not merely the observer of old reruns. Okay, and that comes to the end of that. She says, my helpers are indicating that it is time now to move back down into my physical body. Now, I've read this, and I only have 2 videos that I'm making of this, because actually I've read this whole book. It's called Conscious Journeys, and it's on my playlist. If you care to hear the entire experience that she had in many, many, many out-of-body scenarios that she had at the Monroe laboratories, then you can listen to me read the entire thing. But I'm reading this part especially for now, because we are coming into this time where we have to realize our oneness and the powers that we have inherent within our own selves. that nobody's going to do it for us. We've got to break down those walls of our ego and our fear and all that ourselves. Can't wait for a savior, because we are our own saviors. But it helps. It really helps, I think. For me it does. It helps to read things like this that bring to your mind a thought that there's something greater than my day-to-day life, where I'm somehow confused and scared and afraid and lonely and all that. We've got to pull out of that kind of way of thinking, because it's keeping us down, down, down. And I want to go higher. Actually, I want to go down a little bit too, because I feel like I'm going down the rabbit's hole, like in that movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? I want to go down the rabbit's hole as far down as I can go. Then I want to go up to as high as I can go. So I will leave you with this. This is the Dove Lady, over and out. Hope you enjoyed this. And bye-bye for now.